We've gotten our little ruffles blind hemmed, so now we're going to make them ruffle. And to do that, we're going to use our gathering foot and our 4th thread safety stitch. There are some changes that you need to make, and quick way to reset everything is just turn your dial to B and then turn it back to A and the auto tension resets. But this is what we're going to do to help with the gathering. We are going to take our differential feed to 2, all the way up to 2. You're going to increase your needle tensions all the way up. You're going to increase your stitch length all the way to 4. And if this doesn't gather quite enough, the other option we have is we can actually increase our foot pressure a little bit. But we're going to run a little test stitch. Put the gathering foot on first. So I'm taking off my blind hem foot. And this is the gathering foot. The gathering foot has a little plate underneath here. It's movable, so you have a movable guide as well. But what happens is the fabric that you want to gather goes underneath this plate, and the fabric you want to attach to goes on top of this plate. Right now we're just going to do a quick little ruffle, and you can do that without attaching fabric. So we're going to run a test to make sure we have enough gathering, and then we'll make the adjustments to the foot that are needed. If you have a little bit of trouble sliding this underneath, just push down to flatten out that plate a little bit, and it'll be a little bit easier to attach. Okay, I've changed my settings, so I'm going to go ahead and use one little piece of fabric and do a test stitch. And remember, if I want to gather, I'm going to put that underneath the foot. Lower your presser foot and begin sewing away. And don't hold the fabric tightly. You want to let the machine pull the fabric, so you're just going to guide it. And this is our gathered ruffle. It's at a differential feed of 2.0, which is a ratio of 2 to 1. And you have a nice little ripple here, so this is good. Now we're going to attach this to our sweatshirt. So I need to find my sweatshirt. So here's my sweatshirt, and it's prepared with the directions that are in your workbook. And you can see I've cut off the hem or the waistband and split it down the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and use this to attach this ruffle to. And let me move this one out of the way and take our sample off. And this is a good one for your swatch book, so you can mark the settings for the ruffling. I don't want quite as much ruffling, so what I can do with this is drop my differential feed down to about 1.5. And I just want a little bit of a ruffle because we're going to put 2 ruffles on here. So here's the fabric that's going to be ruffled. It's going to go under the foot. And I'm going to go ahead and just start that sewing so that it's caught in the needles. And this is what's going to be attached without a ruffle. And to do that, I'm going to put my right sides together and just slide it into this little slot. And if I need to adjust where this is placed, I can do that very easily. There's a little guide on the front of the foot. So let me pull this up onto the table, slide that in, and I just wanted to kind of ride along the knife. I don't want it to really be cut, maybe just trimmed a little tiny bit. So I'm going to go ahead and drop my foot. Go ahead and slowly move forward and make sure that the needles are catching your fabric that's not going to be gathered. And if it's not, pull it up and turn your hand wheel to catch those, because you want to make sure that these move together. All right, so let's move or sew at a slow pace, trying to make sure that our fabric's in the guide and that our ruffle is ruffling evenly. So we're going to go at a reasonably slow pace and pay attention to what's going on. And you don't want to pull the bottom ruffle, you just want to guide it and make sure that it's sewing evenly. And if you find that, like on seam lines, if that guide gets in your way that's on the front of the foot, you can always loosen it and slide it over even a little bit more. Adjust as you need to as you go around so that you get this ruffle on there nice and evenly. And you note I didn't pin because I really can't pin if I'm going to attach a ruffle to another garment or another piece of fabric, because one layer is ruffling and one layer is not. As you finish up, just go ahead and chain off. Even if there's a little bit of an overhang, that's not a problem. But you can see we pretty evenly ruffled across. And that was all done in one step. We're going to continue to work on our sweatshirt project and learn different techniques and use our accessory feet So let's clean up our area a little bit, trim up this and press it if we need to, and get ready for the next section.